Okay, Chinese food is one of my favorite foods, absolutely, since growing up. It's always kind of affordable, it's always close to home, especially me growing up in the hut. But now, Joshua Weissman tried the best Chinese food in America, all over America, so I'm super interested in this video. Let's jump into it and find out what's the best places, because I might end up visiting a couple.
Spend $60 billion a year on Chinese takeout. General Tso's orange chicken are common, but what if I told you that's not even the best?
And General Tso's is like, I mean, he's not even a real general. It's some real Americanized Asian food, nothing to do with the actual place.
Stuff. Some of the greatest Chinese food in the world is being served in Chinatowns across America.
Okay.
Recipes and dishes that have existed for hundreds, if not thousands of years. So today,
you see that right there? That was dim sum. See that? Hold on.
America. Recipes and dishes that have existed for hundreds, if not thousands of years.
These right here, these are like soup dumplings, so they're like full of juice, and they always be different colors. I had like some purple ones, absolutely fire, up in New York. Ubligo, UBLO in New York City, one of the most underrated Asian food spots in America, I'd say.
So today we're on a mission to find the greatest Chinese food in America. And what better place to do it than America's largest Chinatown?
Got it. Like I said, you gotta go to New York.
We're here with Chef Maxi Lau, eating through breakfast, lunch, dinner, and late night meals. She's taking us to places that make Flushing one of the most influential Chinatowns in the world. And at the end, I'm gonna find my favorite bite. These are some of the best noodles I've ever had. Oh my God, it's ridiculous. This is a hit. And crown our champion. So we've made it to the heart of Flushing.
Asian food, Asians make the best food, bro. It's like not even arguable in my opinion. Like you think of like omakase style restaurants, Asian, they care the most about the dishes. They put so much time into the dishes. It's like amazing.
Maxi, how are we gonna do this?
There's so many places to eat in Flushing. I think it's gonna take you about a week to get through all of them. But since you only have 24 hours here with us, I'm gonna take you to my favorite places that
I got 24 hours.
I grew up eating here, and some of the new hotspots, even though I don't think you're gonna make it.
What do you mean make it? Like make like alive?
24 hours, dude, that's a ton of food. You know, yo, dude, you good? Good?
You good?
We're at our first spot, A Jane, so we're gonna get some teen bang.
Oh, hell yeah.
So teen bang, they literally make a crepe, and then they put eggs in it,
Okay.
and then you have the option of doing sausage and beef. So I chose beef, because that's the one that I like the most. You can choose the option with the fried dough or do like the crispy wonton.
Because traditional crepes are trash. Like just the fruit crepes that I've had personally been trash. So a savory crepe probably is fire.
Skin, but I chose the crispy wonton skin.
Oh my God.
A little lighter and crispier.
So it's gonna add a lot of texture because the outside, like a crepe, is really soft. Like sometimes they could be mushy depending on how they're cooking it, but putting the actual crisp on the inside will give you that texture, so you'll get the soft with a little bit of the crispy in it. Oh, that's probably good.
I love it. Okay, so this is ridiculous. I've literally never had anything like this in my life. Soft yet crunchy, fatty yet clean. It's a little spicy. It's not dripping oil. This is really good. Let me explain my rating system. Again, I'm harsh on my rating. A 5 out of 10 is not bad. It's mid. A 1 out of 10 is bad.
Yes.
A 10 out of 10, which we've never given before and probably never will because I don't think perfection exists in this world. This is an 8 out of 10. And that is very high for my scale. A strong start, moving on.
Jinbang starting the day off strong.
Jinbang.
But next we have a very special place. Maxi's aunt's restaurant, Casita Cafe, which is known for some unexpected breakfast dishes.
This is like a more ta tan tang style. Ta tan tang means like kind of like a Hong Kong style diner. So this is called combo A. This is my go-to.
I never thought about starting my day with macaroni soup, but I'm going to moving forward. The sesame oil
That looks mid. That looks very mid.
is amazing. Super welcome. I think it perfumes the whole thing.
In Hong Kong McDonald's, this is a breakfast item. And then we have salted beef and egg sandwich.
That's my speed right there.
Ridiculous. So first of all, the eggs cooked absolutely perfectly. This is like the filet mignon of breakfast sandwiches. So good, it made me forget about the Hong Kong French toast. Wow, holy cheers. You know what? It's not overly heavy at all. That means I can eat the whole thing, right?
The fluffiness of the bread and then just like that thin layer of peanut butter.
That looks good. Let's bring that back.
Heavy at all. That means I can eat the whole thing, right?
The fluff.
Let's just look at that for a second. Damn. The bread looks it looks thick, but it looks airy. So that's what he's saying. It's not heavy. And they usually fry their bread. They got a crazy couple frying bread techniques that I've seen online that they use, but that does look delicious.
Fluffiness of the bread and then just like that thin layer of peanut butter.
You could eat this and I think you'd feel great. Maybe that's an overstatement. You can eat this and you'll be really happy.
Lots of great items, but now it's time for another judgment. Is this really gonna beat out an incredibly high rating from A Jane?
The corned beef sandwich Easily a 9 out of 10. This is the clear winner.
look
You
at-
guys know I don't give 9s, and I'm not bull because Maxie is here. I am slightly afraid of her, but I'm willing to put my life on the line to at least be real. And I'm telling you, this is a 9 out of 10. If you live in New York City, you should be pulling up.
An immediate leader with a huge 9 right out the gate. But now it comes down to one of my favorite things ever, which honestly might ruin me for the rest of the day.
We are at Lake Pavilion right now. We're
It's an all-you-can-eat spot, I bet.
going to do some yum cha and dim sum.
I remember when I was a kid and I would walk in and I'd see them pushing the carts and there's just food everywhere and people are running around and you're like, yeah, I want that. And they
Look like they got some chicken katsu in there. I wonder if they got curry. Curry chicken katsu is one of my favorite dishes, probably easily.
literally sprint at light speed to you. It's like a whole experience.
I invited my friend because we're gonna be feasting.
Love it.
So my friend Jessica's meeting us in there.
All right, let's go.
As soon as we sat down, the madness began. Everywhere I looked, people pushing carts
you.
overflowing with steaming, fresh food.
Look at this, dude.
You seen those? Is those duck feet or chicken feet? I'm really not a fan of eating any wild anatomy of an animal, like the feet, the ears, the snout. Yeah, just not with that.
Where should we begin? I don't even know. I'm really eyeballing these rice rolls. Kind of want to start there. It's ridiculous.
I'm gonna go for my fave. Long
Okay.
is the type of rice, and it's wrapped in this like lotus leaf.
So good. By God, the rice is cooked so nicely. Obviously, the flavor from the lotus leaf, it's like fragrant, almost like a tea. Really nice. Should we suck on some toes?
So it's just gonna slip off the bones.
Love it.
So it's about the technique of sucking the.
Sucking the what? What she said?
So it's just gonna slip off the bones.
Love it.
So it's about the technique of sucking the.
Sucking the what?
Toes.
Skin.
The skin. The skin.
So flavor-wise, really nice. It's got umami. It's a little salty, sweet.
Umami is basically the taste from soy sauce.
It's very balanced. It's not spicy.
I know this looks like it's kind of heavy, you know, we're eating chicken feet, but this is actually all breakfast. So want to try piggy? So I guess we'll split it.
This
So what is the? I hope they say what this purple stuff is called. It's like a potato. It's called. Hope they
bun
say.
is amazing. I'm gonna say it's light. It's not. It's super heavy, but in a great way. I love it. Sesame ball. It's like chewy, crunchy, it's crispy. Last but not least, we have soup dumplings,
Told
one of
you.
my favorite bites
They be
of
so
all
fire.
time. Soup dumpling needs no
They're
introduction.
like bust open in your mouth when you eat them. Big pause, but that's what happens.
It's perfect. The skin on the outside is like perfectly al dente. It's not overcooked. Inside's juicy, seasoned really nicely.
The dishes kept on coming and I kept on eating. But now it's time to stop and name our winner. But then a new contender caught
Those some type of buns.
my eye from the distance.
These are very unassuming. You might see these and go, oh, I might get it, I might not, and let it pass you up. We were about to do that. One of the best, bolo, char siu, bolo,
Hold on. The pineapple bao buns.
char siu bao. The softest, most delicate donut you've ever eaten in your entire life texturally, but it's savory, a crispy, crunchy top, salty barbecue pork on the inside. 9 out of 10.
Pineapple and pork is definitely one of my favorite combos. If you think about like an al pastor taco, that's my favorite. So pineapple and pork is a win.
Easily, I feel like I'm getting my toes sucked on. Moving on.
Next up, another major contender, Joe's Steamed Rice Rolls, maybe the most famous in all of New York.
I've never had a steamed rice roll.
I love these, but you rarely see them made from scratch like this.
In the morning, they grind up the rice to make the liquid. He does like 1 ladle of the mixture, then he adds the filling in there, pop it in the steamer, he takes it out, he rolls it up, cut it up, and this is what you got.
We have the rice rolls. They have barbecue pork in them. We just doused it.
So it's a liquefied rice steamed with the ingredients, then cut and served. Okay.
In soy sauce. Oh my God. These are the best rice rolls I've ever had in my life. Way better than dim
It's a
sum.
lot thinner.
Thinner, more tender.
But this is like
Wow.
obviously the simplest version you can go. This is like my go-to.
The barbecue pork is just the right type of texture you're looking for to add to the experience. When you're eating this, it's
Because when you're eating something that like it looks kind of mushy, maybe a little bit gelatinous, you want some texture in there just to break that up a bit. So a lot of people when they have texture issues with like jelly because it's nothing in there giving it any texture. Or pudding is nothing in there giving it any texture.
So silky, so smooth, but you definitely want another texture in there. And the barbecue pork provides exactly what you're looking for, a little bit of chew. This is like a perfect bite. I'm gonna give it a solid 8.7. Moving on.
Breakfast is complete, but we've got a two-way tie between Cuisine Cafe with their salted egg and beef sandwich and the barbecue pork pineapple bun from Dim Sum, each with a massive 9. I mean, these are rare ratings. Are we gonna have our first 10 on the channel in this video? Onward to lunch.
Our next stop is actually at Maxie's place. Maxie told me that I'm not allowed to eat until I know how this works.
Yeah, I'm gonna make him work for it. So we're actually wrapping wonton today. And this filling is 90% shrimp, 10% pork. So get a little
I never seen that type of mixture before. That's interesting.
bit of the filling. Okay, now close it up.
How do you even move your hand like that?
And then now lift it up and then have your thumb hold the left side and then get your thumb underneath the wonton, pull the stick out, slightly roll it. Make it a little rounder and then that's a wonton.
That's why you gotta appreciate the stuff you be eating, because that technique is amazing. It's incredible. And you might scarf down 5 of those, don't think enough of it. But people are spending their time creating and crafting this.
Not quite as pretty as yours. It's pretty good, right? What do you think? It's a...
It's
The
beautiful.
story of how Maxie started her restaurant is nothing short of incredible. Maxie and her family have been eating in Flushing since she moved from Hong Kong as a kid. It was always her and her mom's dream to open a restaurant one day. But when Maxie turned 28, her mom sadly passed away from cancer. But that wasn't gonna stop
Hey, fuck cancer.
Maxie. She totally swapped careers to fulfill her and her mom's dream. Thus, Maxie's Noodle was born.
Today I have for you our fried BB wontons. This is the same
I love fried wontons. Oh my God.
filling as the wontons here in the soup, but I did add in a dry flounder powder.
Oh, yeah. The flounder powder is amazing. This is so balanced.
And then we have the lo mein style, the dumpling, and the zajang with the ducking noodles.
These are some of the best noodles I've ever had. I've never had these before.
These
Very
are
thin.
actually the Hong Kong style alkaline noodles. Pretty much like the alkaline makes it like nice and bouncy and stretchy.
I was gonna say, there's almost like a crunch to the noodle in a way. Like there's like a really strong chew. It's so nice. So good. The wonton skin is like so delicate, melts in your mouth, but you have this nice firm shrimp. I like it.
Literally dunk it in there.
Dunk it
For
in.
2 seconds, yep, now eat it.
This is exactly the type of thing that I like to eat because it's like a multi-course menu in one meal.
And then over here, we have the noodle soup style with the flat rice noodle, the beef stew, the wontons. These are actually the wontons that you wrapped.
They put mine in there because they were like, hey, we're gonna throw these away. You guys should just eat them. This is what will put me to sleep. That's really nice.
Out of everything you're eating, what's your best dish?
These are one of the greatest noodles I've ever eaten my entire life. 9.5. Maxie, this was excellent.
And a clear overall leader on the board. Maxie's doing it right with insane noodles and wontons. But will she hold the lead? We're not just gonna go easy on Maxie because she's our friend. So onward to a drink showdown.
Ooh, boba.
Starting with Hey Tea, known for fruit drinks with
Cheese foam. That's
My moderate to severe Crohn's symptoms kept me out of the picture. With Skyrizi, feel symptom relief at 4 weeks. Many people
Cheese foam. I never heard of a drink with cheese foam.
I love everything in this, but the
Check me out. When you go to New York, people will get that horn. We call it that horn because the motherfucker will sit behind somebody. Meh, 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 meh. Like they'll go crazy. They even hit us with that. We was going to a spot. We hopped out of the car. They pulled up behind us because we was getting out, but we was like in the middle of the street, getting out of like an Uber. It was just meh, 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 meh. And then he pulled around our car, just waited a red light. Just idiot shit.
jelly.
Did you taste the cheese foam on top?
Oh, that's good. That was unexpected. But overall, flavor-wise, the sugar level's really good. The flavor's nice. It's really nice, intensely grape flavored. I'm gonna give this one an 8 out of 10, but I don't like the jelly, so I'm gonna have to knock that down to a 7 out of 10. Still strong, but not my top contender. I think we have better to come.
Next up, Molly Tea, an incredibly high-end spot from China known for their premium jasmine milk tea.
This is by far my favorite because I'm obsessed with jasmine.
I've been to a lot of different boba and milk tea shops, and none
I like Jasmine's.
of them look like this. I feel like I'm walking past a Louis Vuitton. It's super balanced, it's not overly sweet, it's ultra fragrant. It's arguably the most jasmine tea flavored jasmine tea. Out of all the milk teas I've ever had in my life, this is easily it's another 9 out of 10. Like, I don't know what the hell's happening.
And finally, Jingfu
It's Asian, bro. They be making the best shit.
Tang from Taiwan, known for their luxe brown sugar boba with actual real gold on top.
So we got gold leaf on the boba before we got
There's no way this doesn't get a 9.
GTA 6. Explain that to me. The boba's still warm. You saw it in the wok. A golden wok. Really nice. If you've ever gone to a boba place, anywhere, typically you go, you get it, it's good, but it's really sweet. This is like sweet, salty, creamy, but not too sweet. It's got nice, even lines of flavor. Out of all the milk teas I've had, this is in the top 3, but I would give this a solid 7.5 out of 10. One of the best boba teas I've ever had, but out of all the teas we had today, I'm gonna give the crown to the jasmine milk tea. It was unbelievable.
Okay.
All right, it's check-in time. I feel like I've been brought back to life. Not just by this, but just by the vibe. There's nothing that can bring me down.
The next lunch spot is
That Peking duck.
one of the most anticipated locations. It is Cantonese barbecue. The location, corner 28. Listen, growing up as a kid, I lived for this stuff.
So here, I usually get the 3 topping, crispy pork, the roast pork, and the duck over rice. And make sure you get
Crispy pork.
the ginger
probably
scallion
best.
sauce. This is like liquid gold to me.
That's ridiculous.
Ginger scallion sauce is crazy.
You don't even need anything else.
Wow. Ginger scallion, just as a heads up, this is basically ginger, green onion, oil, salt, I suppose. Makes you want to hit my head against the wall. The beauty in the simplicity
It's so simple, but it's so fire, bro. It's so like you wouldn't have thought to mix ginger with scallion.
of these flavors combined.
This you have to ask for. They only give you this if you order chicken.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. Gotta do the duck. This is a hit. This is the one that I'm like, I want to come back and eat every day. I don't know where we go from here. This like might be our highest rated one. I'm not even joking. For bang for the money, the diversity of choices you get to eat, I'm gonna give this 9.6. I don't even know if we've given a 9.6. It's so perfect. I don't even care. Like, I forgot where I am. They could have seated me in the bathroom and I would have been perfectly happy.
Our newest lead at a 9.6. Could we end up giving our first 10 out of 10 in the entire history of this channel? I guess we'll find out now that we're moving on to Ji Bao.
They're known
Ji
for
Bao.
their crab roll and crab meat.
So crab roll is basically a substitute for caviar.
They're the only place in New York that have this stuff.
Okay, so we're here with the owner, Homer, man himself. So should we crack into this? Crab flavor is so nice. It's
Well, that's what they made she crab soup with, but we use different things now.
oceanic, but the texture of the noodle, I mean, this is like a complete meal, and I love the addition of the wood here for texture. Really, really nice. Next one.
So after they steam it, they also pan fry the bottom.
This has pork, so now you have some pork taste.
I love
Pork
the
got the most
diversity of flavor, texture. It had everything I wanted. Crispy, chewy. I'm gonna give it a 7. If you're like a crab fanatic,
This is a place for you.
this is the place for you. Everything was absolutely excellent. Thank you so much.
So welcome.
And to check in, I am feeling it. When I sat down in there, my body was basically like, it's time to stop eating. You've had enough. No, seriously, I'm in pain. Please, dear God, stop. We need to go to the hospital.
That's the crazy thing about doing what we do. Like when we do these food reviews, bro, sometimes I be stuffed and then we gotta eat some more. Like, bro, we've been eating all day. Like, help.
And my brain was like, goo goo gaga. Moving on.
It's time to fire things up, and that means Szechuan. Ironically, Maxie's actually anti-spice, so she invited her friend Caroline Shin, a Queens food-focused journalist who grew up in Flushing,
I think it's good that she putting her friends on.
that lives for the spice. We linked up at New World Mall food court, and we're here for Lao Ma Mala Tang's Szechuan Mala Dry Pot.
Mala is that flavor that I'm addicted to, which is a combination of these spicy chili peppers with the numbing quality of the Sichuan peppercorn.
The fish is kind of calling me. It's honestly not that spicy.
I heard that Q is not too spicy. I'm gonna try it.
On my personal spice scale, I would give this a 5 out of 10 on the spiciness. It's not too hot at all. The fish is cooked really nicely. It has the exact amount of numbing spice that I like. It's not the type of spicy that bites your tongue off. It's warm. This is what Americanized Chinese food wishes it could be.
The market is like by the people for the people, so it's gonna be at that palate level. So it is gonna be super spicy and it's not gonna hold back because
She is suffering. I am suffering.
that's what the natural palate is. How are you doing, Maxie? Was it spicy for you?
The funniest thing is my friends ain't got no spice tolerance, so I'd be like, it ain't even that spicy. They be like, to who?
I'm sorry.
We've had our Lovesac couch for 8 years. I mean, this couch adapts to it all. But it's the things you don't.
I'm sorry.
She is
It's a
going
good
through it.
spice, but every bite with that, I have to eat it with some rice.
I think if you're gonna get a Szechuan dish and it's gonna be mala focused, this is where it should be. All things considered, this is like a solid 9 out of 10. A 9 out of 10 in a food court is a 10 out of 10 anywhere else. And I'm especially happy with this food court. I have like a multitude of different options. Every single one of them have their own unique offering. People are bringing technique. We're not gonna come to America and then change it. We're gonna come to America and do it the way it's supposed to be done. And one of the best quotes I ever heard from a chef that I worked for was, we're not doing anything special here, we're just doing it the right way.
That's a good way to look at life. Like, some people go to work every day and build their life. Some people don't. I'm not doing nothing special. I'm just going to do what I'm supposed to do, taking care of business. So that's a lesson that could be applied to all areas of life.
And the mala just hit my throat. Oh my God. It's amazing. It's like another world down there. We're finally back out here and I'm like, oh, right, we're in New York. Totally forgot. It's like I was transported back and I'm ready for more.
And Cantonese Barbecue wins lunch with the highest score I have ever given. I really think we might be giving our first 10 here. And what better way to do that than with Michelin level Szechuan food? Hopefully Maxie survives the heat because we might be looking at a new leader.
So we're at Szechuan Mountain House. It is one of the New York Times 100 best restaurants, which I think is actually just a testament to like how mainstream popular it's become.
So New York got so many dope restaurants. New York is one of those places that if you live in New York, you don't have to go nowhere else. You'll see all the concerts. You'll see all the artists. You can get any type of food. They got every restaurant that's everywhere else in the world. Like, you could really just never leave New York and experience like a whole different world.
And then they have a Bib Gourmand, is that right?
Yeah.
Amazing. Michelin level food right here. So they're like, this is gonna be really spicy. I'm like, how spicy? Look at this. An uncountable amount of pepper.
So Michelin level food in a layman's term just mean that they get the food right all the time. So to get a Michelin star, like, people have to visit your restaurant multiple times and receive the same experience every single time. That's how you get a Michelin star. So
Peppers. We'll start here, then we'll work our way up to here, the ultra numbing, and then we'll work our way up here, what could be the most spicy dish here. We have the chicken. This is supposed to be the lower end.
All right, here goes nothing.
Oh yeah.
It's not that bad.
It's not bad.
Especially compared to what we just had.
Okay.
So we have the mala boiled beef. Cheers. Fragrance of the peppercorn really comes through on this one.
Is it spicier than that?
No.
No?
Do you feel that like numbing sensation?
Oh yeah, I love it. My mouth is vibrating.
Yes.
she said, hey, buddy, what do you mean by that, buddy? Huh?
I'm over here having fun. Maxie's fighting for her life.
But the next dish might just have me fighting for my life too.
Oh, I just got a little vibration in my upper lip. We have 3 incredible dishes, all unmatched flavor. I was almost gonna say the chicken was my favorite until I tried the fish, and immediately this took first place for me by far. So flavorful, it's got umami, it's salty, it's balanced. There's spice in there, but first and foremost, there's the beautiful flavor of chili, which most people will never enjoy because they're too scared of the spice, but this isn't too spicy.
This was really scary to me. It looks overwhelming, but once you try it, it's actually really good.
The greatest things are behind a wall of fear. One of the best fish soup stews of all time. This is an 8.5 out of 10.
That's good. That's a lot of different flavors. So umami, once again, that soy sauce. Then they said a little salt. Then they got that like chili flavor, like that oily with a little hint of heat on the fish. That's probably crazy.
Moving on.
This is crazy. These back-to-back mala meals have my entire face numb, my tongue's tingling. It's like I'm entering some sort of acid trip Szechuan fever dream. And I'm floating through Flushing as we land at the Michelin Bib Gourmand rated Jiangnan, where they serve Maxie's most favorite Peking duck she's ever had.
Told you about that Peking duck. Duck is cool, but it's never that good. Like, even the most renowned, like, duck that people be like, oh, you really gotta try this duck. I done had it in like the only duck that I can say is like my favorite duck is probably at this restaurant called Ardente in DC. They do it in basically like this sauce. It's incredible. That's the best duck. All the other duck, I had duck in Paris. It's like, it's cool. Like, you gotta get the skin with it with every bite. But as far as like a standalone, just to meet the protein of duck, it's like,
Entered this space immediately. My first thought was this place has aura. And by that I mean when we walk out of here, we're gonna walk out with at least plus 100 aura. People are gonna be like, where did you get that aura from? Like, dude, down the road.
The Peking duck, usually they would serve you in the steam bun. Why this is so special, to me at least, is because I grew up eating Peking duck with this thin crepe. It's like a face mask. I always start with, obviously, a piece of duck, a little bit of cucumber, a little bit of the chives, and then a little bit of that hoisin sauce.
Yeah. All right, we're going in.
It's just not that good.
The process of Peking duck is incredibly difficult. And one of the crucial elements of Peking duck, how much you render the skin. This is right smack dab where it should be.
They are Michelin recommended, as they should be, because this is obviously clearly amazing.
Honestly, like, I'm trying to pick this apart and figure out what's not excellent about it.
Absolutely
There's nothing.
Are you crazy?
I'm gonna give it a 9.5. Yeah. I need you to stop giving me such good.
See, duck just can't go that high for me. Like the best duck that I had up there is probably like a 9, but like the Peking duck, it's like I mean, it's more to be desired. You're not telling me that that duck is just as good as the best pork you done had, the best Wagyu you done had, the best chicken dish you done had. You're not telling me that.
Good places. And the only reason it's not getting a 10 is because I haven't had every Peking duck in the world.
Fair enough.
I never will. That's how close this is to being perfect.
Peking duck leads dinner almost surpasses the barbecue from lunch, but now it's midnight. We're getting tired, but we have to keep going because I was told Wagyu is next.
Ooh, I done spoke it up. I done spoke it up. I done spoke it up.
Except we sort of accidentally walked into a wedding, and oh, just kidding, actually. Wagyu is also here. That's a good combo.
Pretty much here, it's all you can eat, and there is like a set menu. You're getting the works here.
It's funny, they're like, oh, it's all you can eat. And I'm like, what happens if I can't eat?
So it's midnight. I'm expecting Wagyu,
Scallops,
but we are confronted
oni.
with a 8+ course omakase.
Where is the Wagyu?
They got some
And
oni
finally,
on there.
it arrived in one of the most beautiful presentations I can imagine.
This is a normal portion, and it's all you can eat.
So how was it? Incredible. I mean, it's A5 Wagyu. What do you expect? But what really blew me away was the Szechuan mala spice blend that you dip your A5 in after you cook it.
Oh my God.
So there's a place called Coat in Miami that served the Wagyu like that. They'll cook it in front of you, and it's absolutely incredible.
Amazing. The smallest spice literally makes it. With A5 Wagyu, generally speaking, don't want to overpower the flavor too much. It's a pretty big no-no, but be the first time I ever make an exception for that, because this is exceptional. All it does is add salt, add a little bit of umami, add some mala heat behind it, but it's not overwhelming it. I'm gonna give it a 9. But you don't need A5 to win. So if A5 isn't gonna win this, what is?
Right.
16 hours and 40 dishes in. Maybe my body can handle more, but can my mind?
We want to start
can
shooting in 3 weeks, and your life rights are the last thing we need, so.
Gonna stop you right there, Bev. I think we understand the situation.
It's funny, they're like, oh, they're like, oh.
Even though I don't think you're gonna make it.
What do you mean make it? Make alive?
24 hours, dude, that's a ton of food.
I'm in too deep to stop now. And so I find myself at Nansheng for soup dumplings. One of my
That's great editing. Let's just talk about that. That right there, that montage is absolutely incredible.
favorite foods ever. And supposedly theirs are one of the most famous in all of Flushing, maybe even all of New York.
This is like the Skittles of soup dumplings. Multiple flavors. We have the truffle. Truffle's really nice. Imagine the most beautiful soup dumpling, but then that unctuous, earthy, funky truffle. Really nice. Next, let's do chicken. Veggie.
Scallop. Pork with the crab meat.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, each and every one of these are incredibly good. People would probably vote on this based off of their preference. Chef Maxie loves the crab one. I can see why. Every single one of these are a minimum 7.5 out of 10. That's just like baseline. The highest one, on the other hand, is a 9 out of 10. There was another one that was an 8.7. One was the truffle, and one was the vegetable. Truffle was the 9. Absolutely excellent. We got to get moving.
Nansheng lived up to the hype,
You can't go wrong with truffle, bro.
but not enough to dethrone barbecue. But maybe our first and only street food that we're gonna be having can.
So I can't let you leave Flushing without taking you to the OG street food vendor meat on a stick cart that's been here for more than 10 years. All of their stuff is pretty much like average $2.
So we have chicken grilled with a mala spice. Smells
good.
smoky.
Kinda
Close your
smell it.
eyes. It's tender, it's juicy. It's a really solid bite. I like it a lot. Final rating, 7 out of 10. Now we go to our final place. This is the moment where we're gonna find out who's our winner.
It's 2 a.m., 17 hours of eating, and our final spot has me wondering if I'm still even on Earth. Haidi Lao Hot Pot, China's biggest hot pot chain, known for their otherworldly customer service. Not just humans, robots too. And we had an empty seat at our table, and they were nice enough to bring us a friend, who scared me slightly. But with this being our final location, will this food surpass the experience and bring us our ultimate champion? First, we choose our broth.
Hot
Here
pot.
we have 4 broths to try.
I'm hyped.
Next, we choose
My girl loves hot pot. She's like, you taking me to hot pot to get some Korean barbecue? You're taking me to hot pot to get some Korean barbecue? All right, hopefully the camera hold on the last leg. Let's get it.
our ingredients. And finally, we make our dipping sauces.
You dip, you dunk.
And you eat.
Using extra long chopsticks, we cook for ourselves and each other.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's good.
But then suddenly, someone walked in. Who, you might ask? I literally don't know. I don't even realize if I'm smiling, clapping, clapping. The food was no longer a meal, it was a show. And there's no place on earth with customer service like this. But with food that's still this incredible, and after the experience
That broth looked crazy.
of a lifetime, I now have my hardest decision of the day.
Probably the best fish soup I've ever had in my entire life. This is a hit. That's how close this is to being perfect. These are the best rice rolls I've ever had in my life. These are some of the best noodles I've ever had. I've never had these before.
40 plus dishes, a full stomach.
If the Wagyu didn't top out that other dish with the duck and the crispy pork, that one got to win.
Like a blown out palate comes down to this moment, and I'm finally ready to give my final score and announce our winner.
After everything we went through, this is a 9, which means
Coming in with the highest score I have ever given, a 9.6, our overall winning restaurant is Corner 28 with their Cantonese barbecue platter and ginger scallion sauce. It was just proper technique.
Told you. That was incredible. There's no way that the ginger scallion sauce is crazy and crispy pork is always phenomenal. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'll be back with another banger.